I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have a public hearing to start off our meeting, which I don't think will take very long. It was advertised in the paper. There's a law creating a new chapter 192 of the Town Code of Town of Highlands requiring utility companies to remove inactive, broken, or replaced utility poles within the town. The purpose and effect of which requires that utilities use town highways, streets, roads, and rights-of-way, and to promptly remove their plants, that's the junk on top of the pole, cables, lines, equipment, and terminals from old and damaged poles, and to further require the prompt removal of double poles once all plants, cables, lines, and equipment and terminals have been removed. Please take notice that pursuant to Section 20 of the Municipal Home Rule Law, a public hearing will be held on the aforesaid proposed local law before the Town Board, Town of Highlands, at the Town Hall, 254 Main Street, Highland Falls, at 7 p.m. on April the 10th, at which time all parties interested will be heard. I hereby open the public hearing for any public comment. Anyone?
I have something to say.
Yes, please.
I don't know, I can't give you an exact date of what it happened, but we got some telephone poles to be placed in our neighborhood. And the poles were not put back in the place where they were taken out of. Actually put very close to my property line, in fact, on my property line.
Oh, okay.
And I'd like to, I was told that another girl, the other end of the street, Doris, who had sold her house since then, that they had put the poles on her property as well, moved them over approximately 3 feet. So I'd like to warn people, if they're going to put up new poles, that they should keep an eye on that, because I was actually, upset over that. And even though it was still close to the road, I think that, them encroaching on people's property, I think is.
I have noticed that in other places, yes.
Yes.
And by the way, this particular law is for a town outside the village.
Right.
Just so you all know.
I thought I would bring that point up for people to.
No, thank you.
That might happen to them as well, instead of having them put holes in the ground and have to move them.
Yeah.
It would help a little bit.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, I ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion. Second.
Motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried. Okay. We'll, a little further in the meeting, we will adopt the resolution to, as I've done in the past, and I try to bring guests forward at the earlier part of the meeting so that they don't have to go through our whole meeting to get to a certain point. On the agenda, we have a request to hire he's Sergeant Frank Pereri. He's a sergeant in the New Windsor Police Department. And we have a request to hire him as a deputy chief for the town of Highlands. So he's been completely vetted. That's a new word I learned just recently. Completely vetted. We know who he is. He came from a list that provided by the county, of which we had like 12, at least 12 people on the list. He's been interviewed by the chief and the liaison to the police department, and he was interviewed by the entire town board 1 meeting ago. We selected this gentleman because he has wonderful qualifications. He is currently the Police Academy Director and Basic School Coordinator for the Police Chiefs Association of Orange County Police Academy. With that qualification right there is almost enough to hire him and be happy that we've gotten him. So I'm going to, let me go through a couple more of these quick things here. He served as the director for the basic course for police, which is a 23-week program. He's an in-service coordinator for the 900 police personnel in Orange County, as well as those surrounding areas and throughout the state. He coordinates and schedules police courses for a variety of agencies in New York City, in New York Division of Criminal Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, and private training organization. He writes lesson plans, prepares PowerPoint presentations, and supervises courses. He is a DCIS Master Police Instructor, General Topics Police Instructor, Domestic Violence Instructor, Radar Instructor, Mental Health Instructor, Instructor Evaluator, evaluating other police instructors who need to have recertification. He's an instructor in Narcan. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So I'll ask for a motion to hire Francis M. Pieri as Deputy Chief of Police in the town of Highlands.
And I'm very pleased to make that motion that we hire Frank Pieri with the maximum for the office of or position of Deputy Chief with a maximum probation and at the hourly rate of $28 per hour.
We have a second?
Yes, I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Chief, if you would join me and the town clerk, we're going to swear in Mr. Frank, and he can go to work right now.
Getting out of Mary Jane's pictures.
Raise your right hand.
I, Francis M. Pierre, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of Deputy Police Chief according to the best of my ability.
All right. Just need you to sign right here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Deputy.
I gotta give you, it says Chief on it.
Frank, would you like an opportunity to say something, or Chief Quinn?
Yeah, I'll definitely say,
I figured that.
what can I say? My most recent prayers have been answered, and my cries for help haven't fallen on deaf ears. I want to thank the board for allowing this. We've never had a chief and a deputy chief in the town of Highlands, but this really provides us with almost full-time coverage between the amount of time we both are going to be putting in steering the ship. So I want to thank the board, and Frank, you were definitely the best man. There's hands down, no doubt in anybody's mind that you are the guy qualified for this job. So I'm happy to have you aboard. I hope your family can deal with it, and don't mess it up.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. Now, anytime you and your family feel like getting out of here, please feel free to do so. Wow.
That was quick. All right, take care.
I was hoping the young lady was going to stay for the meeting.
No, you can stay. Good night.
Thank you again very much.
Thanks again. Okay, I think everyone has an agenda out there. Is there any public comment on the agenda items? Seeing no comment, Town Board, would you like to approve the minutes of the March the 27th meeting?
I make the motion that we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Communications and letters. Again, I'm going to remind everyone that Thursday, April the 20th, in Goshen, at the Orange County Board of Elections, they're having an open house. You'd be absolutely amazed by what the place looks like. And if you ever knew the old place, you'd be even more amazed. So if anybody can get out there, it's April the 20th from 2 to 4. They're asking for an RSVP, but if you want to go out there, you just go right ahead. Earth Day, Climate Smart Energy Fair. This will be held on Saturday, April the 22nd at the Highland Falls Library from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's sponsored by the Highland Falls EDC and co-sponsored by the Town of Highlands Green Team. They have a program where they're going to have Clean Energy Communities program information, which I think the village and the town are both trying to get that designation. They are going to have an electric car display provided by Marchese Chevrolet, electric vehicle discount programs information, Orange and Rockland electric light display, giveaways and current incentives, recap energy assessments, free and low-cost energy audit information, passive home building, tips, techniques for energy-efficient buildings, and you'll be able to take selfies with Mother Earth. Assemblyman James Skoufis will be there. I was hoping that Aaron would be here tonight, but since he's not, I'd just like to say that I understand the senior prom at the high school. Joy, you were there.
Yes.
That was a nice time, huh?
It was absolutely marvelous.
Good,
Had
good.
fun. Good music, they had a party bus, and they made it fun. Lots of good food.
I'd like to commend our bus driver, Debbie McCabe, who volunteered to do the bus ride in the evening, and she decorated her bus with balloons and banners and stuff like that. So that was really nice, and I thank Debbie very much. She's doing an excellent job as dial-a-bus driver. We have some budget transfers. I have $1,500 that needs to be transferred from police equipment to police vehicle repairs. The maintenance has exceeded the anticipated amount for the budget, and this will cover the rest of the year. Have a motion to approve?
Make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried. Same thing again, but from a different area in the police department. Police supplies, $1,500. The police vehicle repairs, same thing. The maintenance exceeded the budget, and this should take care of the rest of the year with no unforeseen circumstances. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I have $1,000 be transferred from bus driver to vehicle maintenance, and this is to pay for a couple of front tires from Corsi Tire. And her budget is just about shot too on repairs.
I make the motion to approve that one.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. We spent some money this month, $160,290. Some of the bigger items are Campbell Freightliners, $226,704. That's for the new dump truck that we just got in. I don't know how I could offer you folks to go see it, but if you see this brand-new yellow, really sharp-looking truck, wait till you see it. It's amazing. It's got every gadget and you can think of on it. Really a nice truck. I got in and it took me 3 steps to get into the truck, so that's amazing. Custom signals, $2,200. Chief, that was for those signs, right?
Yes.
Okay. The signs down at Fort Montgomery, the flashing signs tell you you're going too fast?
Custom signals is actually the radar portion of that grant money.
Oh, okay. And that was done by grants, that those signs were. Legacy Supply, the Please excuse me. I got one of those summer colds. $3,131. MVP Healthcare, $23,221. Orange and Rockland for our streetlights, $3,679. Pine Bush Equipment, we bought a V-plow during the blizzard. That was $5,478. For the ice and snow removal materials, that was $2,154. Our legal services were $6,492. Vehicle maintenance with Romar Contracting, $2,393. Justice court fees went to the state comptroller for $26,103. The village got $2,085 for court services. Town of Highlands Service Award Trust is $52,000 for the award service award program. And EFC receipts, that's interest on our loan, $9,302. So that's where all our money went. But I'm reading this. If you get puzzled by my numbers, that's on your agenda. Somehow we only paid out $160,000. That included $226,000. So I got to square that away in the minutes, Leslie. Okay. Reports. Ty, do you have anything?
Yeah, I want to first of all say welcome everybody, and thanks for coming out because I know you're taking time out of your busy evening to come to the town board. It's great to see you, and welcome to the folks at home as well. I want to reiterate what the supervisor said about April 5th, that the James I. O'Neill High School actually was the organizers of the Senior Citizen Prom. So I wanted to say thanks to the students and the staff of O'Neill for putting such a fabulous program together. Also, I wanted to give special thanks to a few folks, of course, the Recreation Director and Aaron Falk, and the Senior Coordinator, Dr. Andrea Matthews, Dial Bus Coordinator, Colleen Sloan, and the actual driver, which was Debbie. And her last name is McKay, I think. What's Debbie's last name? McKay. So they all did a great job. They actually worked in some extra hours and things of that nature to make this a success. Also wanted to thank business town in town called the Lilies of the Valley for donating the balloons, which helped transform that bus into the party bus. So they donated those balloons, and it was a big hit for the seniors. They transported them in style. Thanks for the great teamwork to everybody that was involved, and seniors really enjoyed themselves. Tomorrow, the fun continues. The seniors will be taking a trip to New Jersey to meet with the other seniors in the tri-state area. The bus leaves at 10 a.m. from Sacred Heart, and the seniors will return back in the area by 6 p.m. And then also on the 25th of April, there's a trip being organized, and if you're a senior citizen, and I hate to admit this right here, but if you're a senior citizen in the age of 50 or up, you don't want to miss this trip. You also have an opportunity to take this trip for free. So it's going down to a Monticello Casino. Monticello Casino is on the 25th. Okay, so I'm just really excited about the fact that we got so much team effort in making the quality of life for seniors as best as we can. So that's, what we say in the Army, a sustain, right? We need to keep that going. So thanks for everybody involved in that. That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. June?
Most of my time this month with the police department has been interviewing for our very successful candidate and deputy chief this evening, who he will be a great asset and a large help to Chief Quinn, Chief Quinn does an excellent job on his own, but we can always use a little help. I attended the chamber meeting this morning, and it was really very well attended. That was a large group. There was some very interesting back and forth discussions, and Jim Maudlin is doing, and team, are doing a fabulous job. And I see that we are again the safest city, or safest town in
New
the
York State.
New York State. Congratulations, Chief, you're doing a great job.
Again, please excuse my voice here, but the ambulance corps had 58 calls this month, and of those 58, 25 of them wound up at St. Luke's Hospital in Newburgh. 25 didn't enter the hospital at all as patients. Hudson Valley Hospital got 4, Orange Regional Medical Center got 2, Nyack Hospital got 1, and Good Sam and Suffering got 1. And there was a number of calls that were canceled prior to response. Patients refused care, such and such. There were 25 records, actually, that went down that route. I also was at the meeting this morning, which Jim, you didn't even run the meeting. Everybody else ran the meeting, but that was nice. There was a lot of discourse back and forth, but no one talking over the other person and what have you. It was really nice the way people talked and respected each other to be able to say what they were saying and ask their questions and what have you. It was a very good meeting. I went to a meeting at the school. There was a meeting of myself, the mayor, the school board, Dr. Shiboy, and the Orange County IDA. They put on a presentation for about 2 hours trying to figure out what we can do with the empty school up on Mountain Avenue. They have an idea of making it these satellite things that they, I wish I could remember the exact name, but they're like pods.
They call them incubators.
Incubators, that's the word I was looking for. And just for an example, the same example they threw out, suppose that you're doing baking at home and you're doing it commercially, trying to sell your products at home from your house and what have you. They would set you up there with the equipment needed and the experts that need to put you into business. They'll keep you there approximately a year. It's a rent of $200 a month if you're going to use one of their incubators. And then from there, they expect you to get out on your own. And the reason the bakery thing really set with me is, of all the things that we could use or might use here in town, the bakery sounds like the phenomenal thing. It just sounds like the right thing to be doing in town. It could really spread out with using its products in the 2 hotels and all through West Point. So anyway, they're coming back again because they really felt as though when we gave them, Dr. Shaboy's got a whiteboard behind his table. It's the size of this wall, and they were writing different ideas and stuff on the board as we went along. Where they put one of the big advantages is West Point Military Academy. Well, this guy said, well, it's an advantage, but then it's a disadvantage, because any business that you try to open up is duplicated on the academy and probably selling at a cheaper price than any of us could possibly do. So they took that into consideration, and they just admitted at the end of the meeting, finally, after 2 hours, that we really have a unique situation here in town, and I don't think I have to tell anybody here that we do. What else did I do? Yeah, that was it, in the school, the chamber, and what have you. Okay. Okay, I've got 2 resolutions on community development grants. Justin, which one are we doing first?
The first one would be a resolution to authorize re-advertising for bids on the Brooks Park project that's already been approved by the program, and there's already a municipal agreement in place. The last bids came in too high, and so the project engineer reduced the scope of the project, and now it's ready to go back out to bid. So simple resolution authorizing the engineer to produce those bids.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion to approve a resolution allowing our engineer, Al Fusco, to produce the bid paperwork to the county, and the county has to approve it, and then they can go out to bid. We have approximately $50,000. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on who you are, how you look at it, Orange County Community Development money for us outside the village in Fort Montgomery can only be used for seniors or disabled. We make too much money outside the gates. Our values are too high on the scale that they set for us. So I ask for a motion to move that resolution.
I make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember Gonza?
Aye.
Supervisor Winston?
Aye. The monies for that project are from 2016 and 2017. I have a public hearing notice for anyone to come to the town hall. I'll read the notice. But if you have any ideas, and I only have until the end of this month to put in something, if you have any ideas that could be handicap or senior outside of the village in Port Montgomery, it can be acquisition and disposal of real property, public works, public facilities, site improvements, code enforcement, clearance, demolition, and rehab for public use or economic development, housing, rehab, loans and grants, special projects for the elderly and disabled, provision of public services like shelters, clinics, senior nutrition, payment of non-federal shares of other grant programs, relocation payments and assistance, planning, management, and program administration. So on April the 24th, we're going to set a public hearing at 7 p.m. here at the Town Hall for anyone that has any ideas on what we might be able to do with next year's community development money. I ask for a motion to move the resolution to schedule a public hearing.
I'll make the motion to schedule a public hearing for April the 24th.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember Gonza?
Aye.
Supervisor Winston?
Aye. Now, for those zombies out there, those zombie telephone poles, I'm not going to read the whole resolution because it is quite long. But
Two.
Huh?
There's two. Seeker first.
Oh, seeker first. Well, all right, we'll do seeker.
You want me to
Yeah, go
summarize
ahead.
seeker?
Yeah.
Sure.
You can take over my voice.
For seeker, you have a seeker designation and determination for introductory local law number 1 of 2017. Again, that creates the new chapter 192 in the town code related to utility poles. This would be a negative declaration that the action wouldn't have a significant impact on the environment, so that's simply the motion, a negative declaration.
I ask for a resolution to pass a negative declaration for seeker on this zombie telephone pole project.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Oh, no, we can't do that. We got to do the roll call.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember Gonza?
Aye.
Supervisor Winston?
Aye. And now for the, Justin, maybe you could summarize.
Save your voice some more?
Well, yes, to summarize it,
Sure.
before you start, there's all sorts of, like I said, it's about 4 pages long, but there's a lot of penalties. First of all, it sets forth who is supposed to notify them about the telephone poles, and that happens to be the highway superintendent. And then they've got like 30 days to get it done, and thereafter, they're subject to a $1,000 fine.
That's correct. For first offenses, it goes up from there. It's a notice provision in essence to whoever is violating, and that does depend at times. People own the poles, but other utilities use the poles, and there's rules and regulations as to who ultimately has to move their equipment first and then remove the pole. But so this outlines our notice procedures from the highway superintendent to those various utility companies. They're all regulated by the Public Service Commission, and this authorizes you to bring them into local town justice court if they're failing to act in accordance, and there's penalty provisions. So it's one more tool that you'll have to use. We've been dealing with the problem now for a few years. And while there was some action taken, you remain with several areas of double poles in the town. They're aesthetically unpleasing, but they're also dangerous to motorists and to pedestrian traffic. So this will help clean that issue up. So you have a motion approving the local law and the new Chapter 192 of your code.
Ask for a motion to move the resolution?
I'll make the motion to adopt the local law.
Second?
And roll call again, please.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember Gonza?
Aye.
Supervisor Lewis?
Aye. Is there any business that we have? Chief, do you have anything besides what we did earlier?
Sure. All right, so what can I say? We're number one today. We've been in the top 10 in the state the last couple of surveys, and so the only place we have to go now is down from number one.
Oh, no way, we're staying up there.
I get a lot of phone calls, a lot of accolades for that, but truthfully, I say this publicly, I say it every time, it's the board who gives me the budget to go out and do the job we do. It's the hard-working men and women out there patrolling the streets and doing a great job. And it's the public that calls us, lets us know what's going on, and we partner with the public for our initiatives and just for our day-to-day operations. So everybody deserves a big thank you. It's a group effort. The new speed signs. So there's 2 new speed signs down in the Ford area by the elementary school. One going northbound, one going southbound. So what I'm hearing is a lot of people are tapping the brakes coming through there. So we've got an immediate benefit from that. We're still going to continue running radar and writing tickets down there. It's not going to solve all the problems. People are going to get used to them, but hopefully not. I have a third one. It's a mobile one. I can take it and put it any place. Problem is I have to order brackets and have Pat buy some banding to put these up. So anybody out in the public who wants to give me a call and give me an idea that if they have a speeding problem, we have to go out and buy these brackets and pre-put them up on the poles so that we can move this portable unit around. Canterbury's already on the list. I don't really have any other locations in the Ford area, but certainly people are free to give us a call and tell us where they would like to see it. There was a third thing now that escaped my mind. It's definitely old age. I guess I'll tell you the next meeting. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Going back to the community development grants for Brookses, let's see, the project includes a path instead of a road up to the gazebo. That's the upper gazebo, a handicapped and a regular water fountain, a portable ADA and regular porta potty pad, and then it has unit prices for if they go under the bid, some other things that we might be able to do. So those are the ADA things we're going to do down the park. Public comment? Anything?
While you're speaking about community development, I just wanted...
Your name?
Oh, Kathy Keene, 4 Cooks Lane, Highland Falls. I was the prior Director of Community Development for the Village, and I just wanted to let you know, in the spring, more towards May, the Orange County Tourism Office is going to do a video of the entire town of Highlands for their tourism. So that includes Fort Montgomery and the Village of Highland Falls. So they're going to go around filming your sites, stores, just to get us out there more to the public. So I just wanted to let you know that was something that I was able to acquire during my time. So that's going to be happening very soon. So again, it's going to be professional video. You'll be able to do copies. It'll be on the website. It'll get the word out there so people will come here more and, stay.
I have a question. If they're coming in to do that, are they going to contact, like, the supervisor?
I will, since.
You are?
No, I will forward that information and let them
Okay.
contact Mr. Lipsy, you
Good.
know, because
Very
that's
good.
really important. That was something that was very difficult. Took a long time for us to work with them, and they finally agreed to do it. So, again, that will be something good, and good for the businesses, and good for the whole area, and something that we can ourselves burn and spread around, and, do whatever we want to, put the word out there about the community.
Like the Mindock Park would be a great place for them to go down there.
Yes, and I did mention that because
good.
that is a very big thing with tourism is water. And especially boating, that's a huge, another big thing is biking. A lot of people like to come and do biking. And we do have walking trails for them too. So, but that's probably going to happen very soon. So I just wanted to let you know that I included, even though I worked for the village, we were all one big family, so I made
Oh, yeah.
sure to,
Yeah, absolutely. Thank
include
you.
it. So it will be happening, so I'll forward your information on to them, and they'll contact you, so that way you
Glad
can.
you look at it that way.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Kat Tagayev. I'm going to speak as events for the chamber first, because he never gives me enough time to talk. Just kidding. We have a really big event coming up, which will be the second annual Answer to Cancer. This is on June 10th. As I look around the room, and there are people who have left, but I really wonder if anybody here can raise their hand and say that they haven't lost a loved one or a friend or know someone who's battling cancer right now. And I think the answer is probably no, because it affects all of us. So what I'm asking is for everybody to take a few minutes, everybody out there also, go to a2c.org, sign up to participate. It's a bike ride, 25, 50, 100 miles. Don't worry, you feel like you can't do that? We also have a 5K walk run. Guess what? Another option. Can't do that either? You can be a virtual rider. You don't have to put in any effort except a little fundraising. We also are accepting sponsors. We're accepting volunteers, the most important thing. There's so much work and effort that goes into putting on this event. Please, everybody go, sign up. Put in your 4 hours. If you can do more, do more. If you're willing to do the walk in 4 hours, do it. If you're willing to be a virtual rider in 4 hours, please, everybody, please sign up. Okay, now, my second one, I am Kat Tagayev, just a village resident. There are many things that I want to say about the SIU, but the most important thing is that the town and the village got together and decided that this was an important thing. And it is important. In a very short space of time, there were 3 warrants that were carried out successfully and to great benefit to us. But the work is not done. Every day, the use of Narcan increases. Every day, more people are DOAs because of overdoses. Let's give our kids in this community a chance to not have to say, I want to grow up to be a drug addict. Let's give them choices. Let's keep SIU working with people of the community who are more willing to give them tips and report things. So the only thing I have left to say is please, a no vote for the SIU is a yes vote for drugs.
Thank you.
And just so everyone at home, in case they don't know what SIU is, it's a Special Investigative Unit.
Anyone else?
Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Renata Farmer, and I have been a village resident for almost 30 years. I'm speaking to you today regarding the Special Investigations Unit, which was created in October of 2016, I believe, to increase the confidence for residents of the village and the town of Highlands in their police services. For those of you who are unsure of what the SIU does, it conducts professional and independent investigations of criminal incidents, including narcotics investigations, threats of intimidation and repercussions toward those who have spoken out. The primary purpose of the SIU is to increase our quality of life in the village of Highland Falls and the town. We are a small community where, for all intents and purposes, we all know each other. The SIU offers residents who might otherwise be afraid to step forward to police an opportunity to speak with an independent investigator without worrying about someone finding out they've voiced observations. In fact, I've heard of incidences where former residents of the village and the town have contacted the SIU informing them of the incidents of criminal activity. Every one of us is here this evening because we love this community and we want to make it safer and better for everyone, our elderly, our children, our grandchildren, and ourselves. I firmly believe this can only happen if the SIU is maintained and supported by our current administration. The Village and Town Board was elected by the residents of Highland Falls, Fort Montgomery. Therefore, you have an obligation and a responsibility to make the right decision for the residents, which is not to disband the SIU, but to give it the support it needs to increase our safety and protect our residents from retaliation for speaking out against criminals and crime. In conjunction with our police forces and the SIU, we can maintain the #1 rating we've previously received regarding our safe community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy McCutcheon, lifelong resident. I too am concerned about the Special Investigation Unit becoming a casualty of both the boards. So this is a letter that I sent to the editor, to Mary Jane, today that I'd just like to read. It's real short.
Sure.
Congrats and thanks to the Special Investigation Unit on the recent drug bust. Only 5 months in existence, and already the SIU have results that are making an impact locally. The SIU consists of several federal and local agencies, which include Chief Jack Quinn, Detective Joe Cornetta, and Officer Bobby Zayas. They are a positive presence in our community, and I hope others recognize this. I don't understand then why the town and the village would even consider dissolving the SIU. They have proven to be a valuable asset within a very short time. Imagine what they will accomplish if given the chance. Please encourage your board members to keep the SIU because united we stand, divided we fall.
Thank you. Okay. I'm not going to get up to the mic. I think I can be heard.
You can stay right there, that's fine.
Thank you.
Don't worry.
I'm hearing these girls, and we've talked about it before, and I think the last meeting that you had here, it was also going to be discussed about consolidation and the SIU. And I was wondering, is there a possibility that the SIU is going to be dissolved?
No.
No. So there's no possibility. They're going to stay. Because I know there's a lot of people concerned. You know, myself in particular, I've had some issues with the village police, and you know,
Well,
they
with my
haven't been
no,
resolved.
it may be in a different format,
Mhm.
but for the same purpose.
What kind of format are you suggesting?
The village mayor has suggested that an organization such as the SIU shouldn't be established with a handshake and saying, let's go do it. He'd like to see something, a memorandum of understanding, a contract between the town and the village, something to clear away the liabilities of the police officers from the village going into the town. He's looking for a written contract of some sort. So with that,
So you're saying that the contract, the so-called contract, is just based on a handshake without a contract, a written contract?
that's what we have right now.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Thank you for that information. Also, I've been concerned about the issue of consolidation, which has been a topic in this town and village for decades, not just recently. How are you leaning towards that?
I'm looking for anything that's good for the community. Apparently, consolidation with a good cost savings to the taxpayer is the right way to go. They've got this committee that's looking it over, the survey that there was put, not survey, but the group they hired for $25,000, $30,000, whatever it was. They haven't come out with a final report yet, and we're waiting for that. What's the name?
Well, I've forgotten the name of the consultant, but the village had a grant to hire a consultant to study consolidation issues, and they did present to the joint boards about a month ago, but it wasn't a final report on police or any of the other consolidation issues. So I think the supervisor is suggesting we just want to see the report.
Well, what I basically asked for, and right now the village is paying this much. The town outside the village is paying this much. Put them together and tell me how much we're going to pay. That's what I want to know. How much are we going to pay? I did that with the joint planning board. Village is paying such and such for the planning board. Outside the village is paying. Put them together. This is what you're going to pay. I mean, I had the numbers. I don't have the numbers for this. They're harder numbers to put together. Chief has got to come up with what is the least amount of money that he can spend on a police department. Which way do we go? Do we go totally part-time? Do we go part-time, full-time? That's got to be figured out before anybody can tell you how much money you're going to save. But we have to know the numbers. And if we're going to combine the police departments, and it's going to cost you more money because they're getting all these, we'll say, full-time officers, a big police force, a Taj Mahal to put them in, a new building to put them in, it might not save us anything. And we definitely have to save money on it, and that's the number one reason that they're looking at it, is to save money. That's not necessarily the only reason you would want to do that. Proficiency of the police department is also important.
Oh, definitely. You had mentioned the Taj Mahal. Are you suggesting that the town is paying the ambulance building for the service of their?
No. I'm just saying that both police departments, the way where they're at right now, are probably not adequate for a full department. So we might have to look elsewhere for something. And I'm being sarcastic when I say Taj Mahal. Okay. I look at some of the other police departments and ambulance buildings, and they are Taj Mahals. But that's my sarcastic self.
Do you have any kind of, you're saying that you're waiting for the report from the chief, and are you waiting for anything from the village, or have they already concluded their?
No, they haven't concluded. I think the village is waiting along with us for the final report from this.
From the town?
From the group, no, from the group that.
From the consulting group.
Consultants.
Okay, okay, that's good.
And they started that well over a year ago, and it's about time we got a report. Yes, anybody else?
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Gave me this to read in case they couldn't get here, and he obviously has not. This is from Wayne Facer, Fort Montgomery resident. It says, Town of Highlands, I wish to bring up a concern about an organization which is to help unite and to help consolidate town and village police forces. This group would do things our local town and village cannot do. This group is called the Special Investigations Unit. Under Pat Flynn, there was a formation of the SIU to be brought in due to complaints about village police not doing their jobs and working with the community for their safety. This was fully documented after removal of Chief Kent Scott in December 2016. A complaint and legal charges were brought up after Chief Scott failed to honor agreements and duties as the chief, thus opening the community to lawsuits. Finally, after a legal issue was resolved in February of this, he became a consultant with full retirement benefits. The SIU has been instrumental in doing the job that our local police force will not do. Under the SIU, we've had drug arrests, theft rings busted, and major players in this community brought up on charges. Over a week ago, there was a major bust in the village of Highland Falls. With the help of the SIU, 7 people were arrested and as such removed from our community. This was the largest bust since the formation of the SIU. The SIU continues to do its work, but it's being threatened. We, the citizens of this community, do not wish this to happen. I do not understand why a community who is in the middle of consolidation and was required to by the governor of New York is so upset about the SIU group's presence. They have been doing an outstanding job and have made more of an effort to combat an epidemic of drugs and other violent crimes in the area. The successes have been great. It boggles my mind that if these are successes, why would you want to disband the SIU? It doesn't make any sense to me. As a resident of this community, I'm exercising my right and have concerns about this. We also fear for our seniors around here and for our children. If known offenders are permitted back into this community, it will set off a major problem which will never be fixed. Thus, many people will have no choice but to abandon their homes and leave the area. We do not wish that to occur. We also do not see people taking the law into their own hands. That does not pose a safe environment for its people. We as a village and town support the SIU and wish it to continue. With the recent formation of RAD and with the blessing and support of the new mayor, we wish to add this to our voice and to assure that this unit must remain in place. We have high hopes that you will listen to the constituents' needs.
Thank you. Joy, you got something for us? Maybe about Juneteenth?
About Juneteenth.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to have the second annual Laura Lanier Juneteenth Festival, and those will be the dates of June 24th and June 25th. We're going to start with the parade from Sacred Hearts and go down to Memorial Park, and we'll have a flag observance day. Then around 12 o'clock, we'll go up to Roe Park, and we'll have a 3-on-3 Anthony Kimbrough Veterans Basketball Tournament. And then the music will start from 1 to 9. We're going to have a children's zone. We're going to have vendors. We're going to have face painting, all the things. And it's a family day. We want everybody to come down. And on the 25th, at 2 o'clock, we'll have a gospel Sunday. And that will end our Juneteenth celebration. And that'll be from 2 o'clock until 7. That time might be changed, but that's about the time. We have a lot of musicians, a lot of people working for this, and a lot of volunteers, and we need all the help we can get to make this a success for the community. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, you're very welcome.
I have a question.
Yes. Oh.
Oh, no, I'm sorry for this. I didn't want to interrupt the clapping. Sorry. On the Special Investigative Unit, the mayor and/or the village board has conveyed the...
The mayor has.
The mayor has. So is
the village board's only met once. So.
Okay, so his concern with the Special Investigative Unit is that there's not...
a formal agreement.
Okay. So does that mean he would like to keep it with a formal agreement, or is that just a stumbling block?
I don't have an answer for that. We'll find out when we put together something and see what they want to do.
Okay, so I guess it's kind of in the village's court, because I'm kind of hearing that we're in favor of it, the work that it's done. So I guess it's in the village's court whether it will remain or not.
Question I have is, who's initiating the formal agreement? Is it village? Is it the town? Is it a combination of both?
I suppose the town would.
The informal agreement?
Formal.
The formal agreement.
Formal agreement.
So whatever memorandum of agreement that is going to be in place that formalizes this activity, is it coming from us or is it coming from them? And the supervisor just said it's coming from us. If I heard you correctly.
You heard me correctly. That's another task for Justin.
That's fine.
And
I'll communicate with the chief.
Yeah, I'll give you their ideas and my ideas, and we'll see what we can put together with that. Now, the mayor did announce this morning at the chamber meeting that he is meeting with a number of county agencies and federal agencies having to do with drugs, sheriff's department, district attorney's department, and what have you. So he's looking into. He also has an idea that the Special Investigation Unit is taxpayer dollars. The county coming in doing the same thing on drugs is not taxpayer dollars.
Who's paying for it?
County taxes, of course. Sure.
Right, which is taxpayers' dollars.
But not only that, but they were doing it for years and did absolutely nothing. Yeah. So that's kind of a waste of
I
time.
don't disagree. I don't disagree. Yes, come on up.
I'm sorry. Hi, Kathy Keene, 4 Cooks Lane. So for many years, I've been here 14 years. I'm originally from Brooklyn. I have tried for years to get Orange County BCI, the DA's office, any kind of numerous federal agencies to come here. We cannot count on them because in order for them to be able to do an investigation, we're in a self-contained. We're not attached to anything. Fort Montgomery and Highland Falls, we're pretty self-contained. So for them to get it down here to do an investigation, they have to have willing informants, people that are willing to work with them. They can't just come in and just grab the bad guys. That's not how it's done. Maybe in the movies, but not here. So that's why we need the SIU unit, because they're here, they're embedded in our community. They know who to talk to. An outside agency is going to come in and come out really quick. It's not going to work. That's why we really need the SIU. So talking to these other, it won't work. And every now and again they do come in, do a quick raid, but again, we need the SIU unit because they're here, they can focus, they get to meet the community members, the locals can trust them, who they can talk to, who they can't talk to, and that's what's going to really start to work for the long run. So I'm just hoping that you guys keep the SIU unit, and I'm hoping, I mean, this place is a gem. You guys don't realize how nice you have it here. I don't want it turning into where I grew up. I grew up in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, during the 80s. So you can imagine, as a kid, I saw people shooting up with heroin, you know, and I mean, I don't want that. This is the country. We should be just looking at bears and deers, not like, you know, drugs are rampant everywhere. Over the summer, we found hypodermic needles on my block. I work very hard to keep my block really nice, so to me that's really disturbing. I mean, I don't expect to see that here. This is the country. So I implore to you, please just keep them here if you can. I mean, that's the only way we're going to save this place. We're on the cliff, so just stop us from going over the cliff. That would be.
I hear you.
That would be, you know, and that's another reason why you guys talk about community development. But this is an issue. The drugs, the crime, that's what's hindering us from moving forward. We can't move forward unless we take care of this problem, then we'll be able to work on Main Street, because the two of them are hand in hand. I mean, that's what
Let me just say and we appreciate those comments, but just so you understand the position of this board, obviously we supported it because our people were involved.
Right.
And I just heard the supervisor say we're going to initiate this letter that says a formal agreement will be in place.
Right.
But now there's another half to this.
Right, I know.
The new administration. So you have to continue to take that comment to that board as well.
Right.
But from this board, we concur with a lot of what you just said.
Just need you guys to keep holding, hold on.
Yeah, we want it.
Yeah.
We got it.
Because that's what can save Main Street. It's not paint. That's a huge problem. I mean, all you have to do, Lord knows I don't do it often enough, but Saturday night, 11:30 at night, mark my words, this Saturday, just take a walk around on your foot. Don't drive around, and you'll see what's really going on here. You know what I mean? So that's pretty obvious. So, how can you get parents? This is a college town, so how can you convince parents to let their kids come out of the college and come shopping? You know what I mean? Spend their money unless you take care of, the problems.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I just want to say one last time from my perspective, having come back after growing up in this community and coming back here from places all over the world. With that being said, there are a lot of good things that are happening too, and I would like to highlight those as much as we highlight the negativity.
So, yeah.
I'm happy to have you
All right,
speak up
thank
and
you.
voice all those positive things that you're speaking of.
Yeah, one of those things is what we talked about.
Somebody stand up and speak about these positive things.
Well, she just talked about the senior citizens.
Well, the senior citizens, yeah, it's been a group that's been going on for many, many years.
Right.
I heard this morning I don't know you, but you were talking about the team thing. I mean, that's the first time that I've seen something like that go on, because the softball thing that was mentioned at the chamber meeting this morning.
Mhm.
I mean, I was in the softball rec department when I was a kid. I mean, these are the same things that have been going on for years. We're talking about the teens that need the extra activity to keep them off the streets, to keep them off the drugs. That's what I'm feeling, because we all have kids. We all were kids at one time. We all know that, back in the day, there weren't we didn't have video games. We'd go out, we hang out, we played kickball, we played wiffle ball in the street. We all got together, we rode our bikes, we played hockey on the lakes. I mean, these are all things that we did and that made us love this community. This is our home. So it's heartbreaking to see these kids, walking the streets and have no place to go and that are using these drugs. I mean, my own family members, I see it. It's heartbreaking. So I have another issue to bring up. You hired a new police officer today, and I'm thankful for that. I know that the chief needs some help. But one of the issues that was going on in the village, I know I'm out of town working, was that several officers were hired, and they stay here for experience and then they move on. Some were hired from other police departments that they were let go of because of whatever, I don't want to call it criminal activity, but they had bad records, but then they got hired here, and some of them were stayed here and collected their pensions from us after working for 20 years someplace else, and then worked here for a few years and ended up collecting pensions. I'm thinking, you used the word vetting, and I was thankful that you used that. I'm thinking that these detectives really do need to be checked out. There's so much information out there, so readily available and easy to get, that the police officers that we have in our community, they're there to protect us. And we as the public are supposed to be supporting them. But when you call the police and they don't help you out, it's causing a rift, and it's not something that should be, because I was brought up to respect the policemen and always go to them when you needed them. Now I'm in a situation where I've called the police several times and they are not responding, even with video. I mean, it seems like nothing I can do but gets them to do their job. So this is the year of the town, and I'm glad to see you, vetting your police officers. I think that this is something that needs to be done in the village also. This is another reason why so many people are concerned about the SIU, because they seem to be the only ones that are responding to what police have.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Anyone else? Yes, Jim.
Not to make it longer than it needs to be, but first off, I'd just like to thank you, Bob and June, for attending the Chamber of Commerce. I'm Jim Modlin, by the way. It's Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for attending. Obviously, there is a tremendous amount of good that's in the area, in the town of Highlands, the village of Highland Falls, a tremendous amount of good. There is obviously a real concern about some of the things that everyone seems to know are issues that is going to take away from that. And I've talked about this once before, and I'm going to be talking to the mayor and others about it also, because you're absolutely right. There's two sides to the coin here. But there is a confidence thing that's going on with a lot of residents. We heard it today with at the Chamber of Commerce meeting also, and it comes back to a real concern about drugs in the community. And so yes, there's a tremendous amount of good. We don't want something like that to get out of hand. And so there is a confidence thing, confidence in our police, confidence in our elected officials to make sure that we are doing the right things for the community. And so I think we're going to continue to hear this. And again, all support to the police, all support to the elected officials. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, I'm very comfortable in saying that we are definitely behind the Special Investigation Unit. It may be an answer, it may not be the actual answer. Who knows what comes out associated with that, but whatever it takes to get things cleaned up as far as drugs in the community is concerned, to take care of our adults, to take care of our children, so that they're going off and doing the great things that we know are here in the village and in the town. That's key. So I wanted to just, I hadn't planned on saying anything about that tonight, but we had that topic in that conversation. Secondly, on the business incubator, I am thinking, I know in fact, that there are things that because West Point has a business does not necessarily have any impact here. In fact, the contrary is true. And I will take it on to find out what the details are, and I'll let the board know about it. I'll do the same thing with the village board also, and I've already been in touch with Dr. Chaboy about this incubator concept also. But the contrary is that before a business is established on a government facility, they are by law required to socialize that with the outside community to make sure that there is not a negative impact to business in the outside community. I've been told that by several folks, and I want to nail that down and make sure so that the consultant or whoever it was that was talking about that, I think we need to get that cleared up. And if I'm wrong, which I don't think I am, but if I am wrong, I'll let you know. But I think there needs to be, and the Chamber of Commerce is the way to do this, I think. There needs to be a mechanism to vet this type of information so that if West Point is thinking about doing something that's a business, you know, I'm not talking about, you know, like the club over there or something like that, but some other business coming on post, that needs to be vetted through the local community to make sure that there's not a negative impact on business in the local community. So I'll find out about that, but I just wanted to let you know about that. And then welcome to our deputy chief. You probably know I'd like to reach out to him and see if I can get him to a meeting sometime and introduce him to the Chamber of Commerce and those types of things. So I'll be in touch with you on that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Is there anyone else?
Rather than ask the girls to leave, and, you know, drugs are a national epidemic in the country, and I just have this fear of everything that I read paints such a horrible picture, and yes, it's reality, and like Kathy said, I grew up in an era of heroin in the Bronx, and saw people in my neighborhood drop like flies. Certainly we don't want to see a revisit of that, but the reality is that it's a national epidemic. And to paint our little town as this haven of nothing but drug-riddled corners, just, it breaks my heart. I mean, there are a lot of good things going on. There are a lot of good people that live here. But all I see and read anymore is that we need to have this big, you know, influx of painting just a really negative picture. And I'm hoping that, you know, this SIU will continue, and I'm hoping that all good things will come of it, but be careful how you present things. You know, as a sales agent and a property manager, all someone has to do is go on Facebook and type in Highland Falls. Lord have mercy. It's shameful. Take those pages down. They serve no purpose. They really don't. All they do is paint a picture of a place that people who are writing it don't want to live in. So that's my soapbox on that.
Thank you.
I have another comment on that issue. I know that Annie had grown up in the Bronx, but she also grew up here as well. And being such a small community, not even close to the population of the Bronx, this is a small community where we were all family at one time. And a lot of people have grown apart for issues that have happened, and even recently. And being a small community, we should be able to know and who these people are and be able to come out and speak up against it. We're a small community, it should be able to be controlled here. It is a national epidemic, it most certainly is. I remember back in the 60s when Highland Falls was the mecca of drugs. You know, that all the military coming back from Vietnam were bringing drugs in like crazy and giving it away on the streets. I was there, I lived it, I know. And we cleaned up a lot, but when we see our young people, these are our young people, these aren't people in the Bronx that we don't know. There's thousands, excuse me, no, I didn't cut you off when you were speaking. I'm saying that we are a small town, and we all know who each other are, and we know what the problem is. And, you know, I have issues, as I said, you know, I have family, and it's hard to bring up the issue and bring charges against someone that you love. But these young people that you need to speak up against, whether it be family, whether it be friends, whether it be a stranger, you're going to be saving those people's lives in the end, because they're being wasted. They're being wasted. And as a small community, we should be able to step up and say something. It's not just, you know, that we're painting a big picture of a huge drug population here. We're saying save the few that are involved in drugs. It's our responsibility. There was a point, and there's an old saying about, you know, it takes a community to raise a child. What happened to that? And that's what we're asking, to bring those old values back, that the community, you know, speak up against it and do what they can. Not just the police, you know, not just the village or town board. I'm talking everyone. You know, we're family. We should all be family. We should all be concerned for one another.
Thank
We
you.
are a Christian nation still.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. June, you have anything more?
Just elaborate one, like, I wasn't talking about the Bronx as a whole, I was talking about a little neighborhood, and a neighborhood in the Bronx is not unlike a little town. So it's true that there are serious issues, and yes, you're right. It takes a village. It starts at home also.
June, do you have anything? Anything?
No.
I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session for a PBA request, a planning board member compatibility, police legal matters, and police personnel matters.
I'll make the motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Thank everyone. Thank you all for coming.